Tempo for a meeting, which we tend to use in the overschedule. Got a lot to say. But the first thing I want to say, of course, is welcome and thank you. Thank you for being here. Our Agent Conference in 2009 will get underway now, and I thank you, number one, for your efforts during the year, for the things we've accomplished, and I'll review in just a minute, and especially for making the effort to be out here. Those of you who have been here in years past know that this is a time where we're able to get together as friends and as co-workers, as partners, to share ideas, to share friendships, and it's a great time of year. For those of you who have not been here before, thank you for making the effort on taking on faith to come out here to talk with other agents, to hear what we are doing, what we've done in the past, and most importantly, what we have planned for the future. And to hear your fellow agents and their perspectives, what they've learned, and really get a feel from them about the culture we have here and about the way we plan to help you build your business. A couple of announcements before I jump into my comments. As you know, we don't have name tags in the back. We actually do have name tags, we just don't have pins for them to attach them to your clothing. And as a result, we're taking care of that now. They will be passed out later, so you'll have name tags in just a bit. Also, if you didn't have a chance, there's a sign-up sheet in back for the different breakfasts, lunches, and dinners that we have Carrier sponsoring. This is very important to us. One of the biggest reasons we come here is for training, to be educated. Carriers have gone to a lot of expense to host us, to bring us together, and to train us on their products and their new endeavors. And rather than signing up beforehand and having no-shows, we wanted to have the sign-ups here for those who are actually here and plan to go, to be able to sign up now. So make sure you do visit the sign-up table if you have not already. Write down the times and locations. Most of the locations are right here. So you can just come back to this room tomorrow or the next day, or even the day after that on Tuesday morning, and we'll be right here in the Gold Coast in one of these rooms, so you'll know exactly where to come. We look forward to those events. All right, so I'm going to get started, and I don't want to be tethered to the podium anymore. I have a hard time standing behind the podium. I get excited and walk around. If you want to see someone who gets excited and really paces around, watch Patrick. He'll wear some holes in the carpet because he's moving. He's always got things on his mind. It's fun to watch him when he's on the phone and gets excited, moving around. He's always got a lot of things going on, and when you see what the IT team has built and what Patrick has prepared for you, it'll blow you away. You're going to start pacing around the room when you see some of this stuff. So look forward to that. A couple of reasons we come to the trade show, and we mentioned this before. I mentioned it on a conference call as we discussed. A little bit different reasons than most people. You know, most people show up here to recruit or to brand themselves. That's one of our last priorities. The real priorities we have here is number one for you. It's for our relationships, for existing relationships. We value our existing relationships a lot more than we do some that may occur months or years from now that we don't know about. We value you and what you've done. As I mentioned before, we thank you for the business you brought last year. That's why we're here. That's what keeps us in business and keeps us being able to invest in this technology. So we feel that's our greatest reason for coming, is to invest in our relationship with you. Beyond that, we want to invest in relationships with our carrier partners. We meet with them. If you take a look at the schedule we've got lined up for the next couple of days, it's back-to-back because we're trying to meet with people and make sure that we're aligned, make sure that operations are going smoothly, and that most importantly, address the issues that are outstanding. Unfortunately, there are always issues to work on as we're constantly trying to improve, and so do they. In addition to that, we try to get some education out of this opportunity. Out of the time we come to the agent show, and that comes from a lot of different seminars. It comes from a lot that's going on in the trade show. If you walk the floor, there's some education going on there. Also some seminars that are taking place where we are enlightened, we have some education, and we'll certainly be taking care of that. But one of the most important reasons we come to a trade show is really to have a deadline. This establishes a deadline for us. It's a line in the sand where we know we have to measure ourselves. Every year we come to this meeting and we got to present to you what we accomplished, what we did from last year. And so it really drives home to us that we've got to accomplish by a certain time. In fact, if you ever set goals, I've talked about this on a conference call before, if you ever set goals, greatest way to really achieve your goals and really keep your New Year's resolutions in place and keep working on them, throw them out in the public. Tell a loved one, tell your family, tell everyone. Shout it from the mountaintops, this is what I'm going to do. And when you don't, it's public humiliation. Fantastic motivation. And that's what we choose to do here. We set a deadline for ourselves. That this is the time when we've got to present everything that's done. And some great things are done. And I'm happy to say we've kept some secrets this time. We don't do a good job of that because we get excited and like to tell you about what we're doing and the great things that are happening, the progress we're making. But we have a hard time not sharing it with you. And this time we've kept it a little behind the curtains. So you've got some exciting announcements that are coming up for before lunch and also after lunch as we talk about some of the new IT developments to make your lives easier and to make you more productive. So that's one of the biggest reasons we come here is deadlines. Now most of what we accomplish here at the trade show is done right here. It's done today. When we talk about relationships, when we talk about education, done right here in this room today. So again, thank you for your attendance. This is where we accomplish most of what we set out to do at the trade show. And when we talk about relationships, it's not just important for us to have a relationship with you, a one-to-one relationship with you and your manager or you and other members of staff. That's certainly important to us. It's important to us that you get to know each other. And I think that's a differentiator between us and some other organizations. It's very important to us that you have friendships, which many of you do. You come back year after year and see old acquaintances. I know many of you have already been out last night together, been on this trip. It's also important to me that new people coming in for the first time are able to associate with other agents, with fellow agents, because I believe it's in those relationships that there is a value and a camaraderie that can be shared that we simply can't offer as an organization. And so we depend on you to support each other. And that's what I hope you'll do, is not just associate with the old friends you've got here, but reach out to some new people. We've got new people attending who have been with us for only a few months. Some have been with us for over a year but simply haven't been to a meeting like this yet. Please reach out to others, make friends, make acquaintances. It's important to us that we have a vibrant community. And that's, again, one of the big reasons we're here is for relationships. I was telling some people in the back earlier that I really am not nervous getting in front because I know that even if I bomb, even if everyone who gets up here and has a presentation has nothing of worth to say, this meeting is still valuable, and that's because of the relationships that take place, it's because of the friendships, and the information is going to be shared back and forth. You're actually going to have some information shared back and forth from two agents we've selected to do a presentation to actually share with you some of the way they work with employees, some of how they manage customers. I think that's going to be very helpful, but I think it'll also be helpful as that really is just an example of some private conversations that I know will take place as you share with each other how you manage customers, how you manage your business, what issues you've seen, what challenges you've seen, and I think you'll be able to help each other quite a bit with that regard. All right, so here we start with the report card. As I mentioned, it's a deadline, it's a measuring time, and we like to report to you what's going on. Some fantastic things have happened. Number one on our list, the TA Members' Choice Award for 2009. And thank you to all of you for your votes in doing that. This is a great award for Telarus. We did win last year. We're very excited about that. The fact that we have it 2 years in a row, I think, is press-worthy, and I think also speaks to not just the type of organization we have, but the type of pages we have we're willing to get behind and make that public. I do want to let you know, everyone, that we've got Dan Baldwin here, who is the president of the Telecom Association, who runs this award, runs the awards for not just mass workers, but carriers, and he's here. He'll actually be seeking some of your comments later. During lunch or during some of our breaks or free time, you may want, if some of you want to get on camera and do a short testimony, you're welcome to do that. Dan is here for that. He'll be filming some of the program today to go on the TA website and to be there in the public. So please, even if you don't want to get on camera, make sure you say hello to Dan and shake his hand. Always good to know Dan, and we appreciate the Telecom Association for being a vibrant part of the agent association, the agent community rather. Next item, we won VAR Business 5-Star Gold Award, which no carrier has done. Actually, we're not a carrier. We're a master agent. No agency's done that either. Our business typically focuses on much larger entities, channel programs like Cisco, like Juniper, very different from us, but they noticed us and we're happy to receive their award. We did a big spread in the magazine. It was great to see that. In addition to that, quite a few carrier awards. We received awards from carriers for being top partner, as you can see there, which we're very pleased with, and also other carriers we did very well with, including Megapack, MVP. We're also in the top of ACC Business, and Newbox's top partner. We did some great things this year, and that really is because of your efforts and your individual efforts as well as collaborative efforts. And I thank you for making 2009 a fantastic year. Here's a highlight of the year that just took place. This actually, it was a great day. February 24th was a phenomenal day. Unfortunately, we were winding down a vacation. We were coming back from Cabo San Lucas, which was disappointing to leave that area. But what brightened our spirits a bit were a few emails. Number one, that we won the TA award for 2009. We were ecstatic. Number two, on the same day, our patent was official, meaning it's called a non-provisional patent. This was filed back in 2003. This is a patent on geocode. It's at 38 points. 38 points to the patent. That was approved. It went in 2003, and 6 years later, we got approval on it, which means it's issued. It has an official patent number. You can go to uspto.gov and look it up. It's there in all its glory. And now what are we going to do with it? You know, number one, it's great, Mark. It's great to let people know that we're creative. We've done something unique. We've done something of value that no one else has done. We've done before them. But beyond that, beyond creating value for you, what do we do with it? And here's our official stance as a company. We haven't come to a conclusion yet. There are quite a few options. You know, we've been asked questions. Well, are you going to go out and sue everybody who's who's using your technology? Are you going to go out and license it to everyone else? Are you going to what are you going to do with it? And the answer is we don't know. We don't know yet what we're going to do with it. We do know we've created a barrier to entry. We do know we've sounded a warning shot out there that this is ours. This is something that we worked on before anybody thought of it. When everyone called us a T1 shop and called us an online play and said we were an outlier, we were something different, we thought this was valuable, and we went to patent it. And now there's recognition to that, and I think that's great. I think there's a barrier to entry so people know that this indeed is intellectual property that is owned. And we'll need to have some discussions in the future. But beyond that, we don't know how we'll use it. We'll certainly market with it with regard to licensing or to stopping anyone from developing their own. We haven't got that far. But when we do, I will certainly let you know. I'll keep you apprised. For now, it's great to know that we are at the forefront of development, that creativity. A lot of that comes internally. Most of that comes externally from you as you come to us with issues, with problems, with real-life scenarios. So we make a truly living software, something that supports real agents, not just a canned software that we're selling a $20 a month license for. And that makes a big difference, I think, for all of us. So financial report card, how have we done? Good. Good. This is our history. And it's good to see growth. You know, we did better than last year. Not many companies can say that. I'd like to say I think we're outperforming quite a few multi-billion-dollar multinational corporations right now. The government has not yet bailed us out. And we have nothing to be bailed out from. So I'd say things are rosy. Now, something I don't like, being perfectionist and being driven as we are, if you look at that curve, it levels out a little bit. See, it levels out at the top. And it's not bad. We grew 20% last year. 20% is good. Who can argue with double-digit growth, let alone twice that? 20% growth, that's good stuff. We'd like the growth to accelerate. And we've always told ourselves that our focus has been on the foundation so that we could scale this, meaning we can grow it faster. And the reason for that, we've talked about size before. It's not for chest thumping. The fact is, as a distributor, as a master agent, size makes sense. With size comes clout. With size comes the ability to support you better, to bring in more carrier support. That brings the ability for us to protect you in a greater sense. And size does matter. And so we continue to strive for that. We will continue.
But I think it's interesting as we start looking deeper into those numbers. It's growth. Growth is good. We're happy with that. But we're going to look a little deeper. We're going to talk about some of what makes up that growth there this year, that 20% growth. Here it is. This is interesting. For those of you who can't see in back, I've got 3 labels over here. The bottom is LPS, Lead Processing System. That means online leads. That means leads we provide with shopforT1.com, with telarus.com, with t1links.com, with all of your many, many, many websites that you have out there. These are lead generation portals that turn into sales for us. And if you look at that, this is why people call us an online play. This is why people call us a T1 shop, is because if you look at 03 and 04, almost all of our business came from that. And then we started having discussions about VARs. How are we going to partner? How are we bring in different deals? How are we going to expand ourselves beyond the online play, beyond developing leads online? And that's where we see the growth. If you look at LPS, it's been somewhat stagnant. In fact, it decreased in 07, and then went back up in 08, but never hit the height it did in 06. So you look at that and it's kind of plateauing. Doesn't mean we're producing less leads, we're producing more leads than we ever have before. What it does mean is there's a finite amount of T1 leads out there. And in order to grow that, we're going to have to go after different things. We're not turning our back from leads online. We think online is a great place to be. But we're focusing on the internet, we're focusing on MPLS, we're focusing on the bigger deals, just to get a lead, just to get our foot in the door. And if you're focused on online efforts as well, you'd be wise to do the same. T1s are great. The problem is they're a third of the price that they used to be. A third of the prices that they were when we started. So we feel happy just to have at a level, you know. That means there is growth. It means we're selling more units. They just happen to be a lower price. So where's the growth coming from? You see it right there. The purple, if you don't see the label in the back, the purple there is VARs. Our definition of VAR has nothing to do with what a VAR really is. It's someone who has carrier services in their periphery, meaning a consultant out there, whether he sells telecom systems or not, whether he sells networking, any consultant out there, a bill auditor would be a VAR, anyone who can bring in a customer to you and you can be the carrier services expert, that is a VAR partner. VAR sales have increased significantly. You can see here that's a big part of our growth, and also self-generated deals. And this gets us excited because it means we're moving in on the territory of our competitors. It means we're getting in on their territory because now we're helping you get into your own deals. You're finding referrals now. You're finding your own ways to market. You're bringing in your own deals. And that is good. That's a good thing. That's where our growth is coming from. And that's what you're going to hear about later, is how to be involved in those growth areas. And you're going to hear some different things about some tools we built with regard to that. I've got to hustle through because, as usual, we're running past time. But I have a few important things I want to run through. Just a couple more items. Attrition is skyrocketing. Look at that. Can you see that chart? Meaning customers were dropping. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. When you look at it, a customer's leaving is always a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But when I throw those numbers up there, they're very misleading. As you look through the years, those are in terms of dollar value that is falling out. It just means we're aging. We've been in this business longer, and the customers we sold in 04 and 05 are getting to the end of their terms, and a lot of them are finding other solutions. So that number is naturally going to go up. As a percentage of our base, as a percentage of what we've got outstanding, we're about 1% per month. If you ask any carrier, to have 1% attrition overall is phenomenal. We're doing extremely well. And that's because you manage relationships. It's because you don't just sell a circuit and move on and forget who that person is. It's because you go back and talk to that customer. It's because you talk to them about a renewal. It's because you keep them happy. If they're not happy, you find something that will make them happy, because your livelihood is residual, and that means an active and happy customer. And that's why attrition is low. That'll keep growing, but we hope it grows slowly. We hope we drop under 1%, because as we can improve attrition, as we can slow down the number of people leaving us, it means your numbers just grow that much faster. Our bases will grow that much faster if we just slow them down from leaving us. So that will happen. Renewals bumped up. We expect to see that. Again, we've got aging customers, and so we expect renewals to be on the increase because people are coming to the end of their term, and it's fantastic to see that you have the relationships that you do, which enables you to go and talk to a customer again. Have them come back and actually seek you out for a renewal, for a new service, and that's where our business will continue to grow. Here's an interesting stat real quick. If we were to reduce our attrition by 50%, we would grow our volume without making an additional sale by 12%. We grew 20% last year. If we just decreased our fallout by half, if we just cut it in half, we would grow 12% without making any additional sales, just by keeping customers around longer. It's a big number, and so those make a big difference. We're going to talk about that later. The last thing I want to show you is fallout. Fallout, our definition of fallout is through the provisioning process. Once you have an order or you submit some paperwork, fallout is anyone who doesn't pass credit, has a facilities issues, is dropped by the carrier for some reason, something in provisioning goes wrong. When we determine fallout, when we never see any money from it. When we don't see $1 in commission from an order that goes in, we call it fallout. Fallout has dropped significantly as a percentage of new sales. Sales have gone up, but fallout as a percentage has gone down. Again, a lot of those credit issues, facilities issues, whatever else, those are coming down, and that is good. And I attribute that to your efforts in better qualifying customers, but also we've got a lot of carriers who've done a great job in cleaning up their operations. We actually have one of those that's going to be presenting in a few minutes, and has made great strides in supporting. So it's good to see fallout go. That's going to be one of our future focuses, is making sure that more orders go through. Again, that's another piece of growth that will be significant for us without going out and getting a single new sale. These are sales that are already in the system, just making sure they go through. And so our efforts in the future are going to be focused on making sure your orders are tracked through the provisioning process, that we know exactly where they are. And we do track them somewhat now. It relies on manual intervention, and we always know that's not a good solution. But we'll be working on that in the future. Again, with the report card, just a couple items we did, in the past, if you want to take a look at that. It's kind of fun to go back and look at when things came out. A lot of the things you use now just didn't exist a couple of years ago. And here's just a few milestones from the last couple of years. When GeoCode came out, when we first started Shop for T1, when we actually came out with a new back office, the one you're using now that everyone complained about, which is phenomenally better than the old back office. But just a lot of milestones that were fun. Well, we're going to have more today, and I'm not allowed to talk about them, because that's up to IT to discuss the new launches today. So I'll leave that there. We'll talk about some of the new developments later, and we'll launch a few things for you. I want to leave you with a couple comments. Number one, Adam likes pictures of animals. I love animals. I love to pet them. I love to eat them. But most importantly, though, I like to illustrate points with pictures of them.
Hopefully you don't like to eat the ones you pet.
I lived in Asia, Roger. All right. Number one, an agent program is a unique business setup. You choose every day what you're going to do. You have complete autonomy. We have, all we can do is entice you. And that's why I have the horse up there with leading a horse to water. You have a choice to make every day. You're going to make some choices today. The fact is, we can produce for you. We can produce tools. We can give you support. We can do all sorts of things. But we cannot force you to do anything. And that's a good thing. I really like that, because to coerce someone into something they don't want to do, I don't think is ever a productive activity. When people choose on themselves and decide this is good for me, this will help me, and really put themselves into something, then I think you get amazing results. That's why I love the agent business, because it's a lot of people making individual choices for their independence, to grow something bigger, to be stronger, to be enabled to work smarter. They make individual choices to do that, and I really like that. And so we're going to introduce you to some things today. You're going to be introduced to a lot of ideas, not just software, but ideas from other people. And I want you to be open to them. I want you to open yourself up to them. I think I said this last year. I liken new things to trying on a new jacket. Doesn't mean you have to walk out of the store with it. Doesn't mean you have to purchase it. Just try it on. See if it works for you. And maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. We're going to introduce you to a lot of things. You've got to make the choice of whether or not you stick with it. The second thought on that, you need to do something about it. You hear a lot. I often think of a story I heard in church about some crows who went to a meeting, and the pastor crow got up and told them all about flying and how you can soar like an eagle, and they can get places faster. They can see roadkill from miles away. And do all sorts of things. And, everyone was moved, and they were lifted, and they thought, boy, this is the greatest thing we've ever heard. And walked home and talked about flying. And of course, the point being, that they continue to walk rather than take something into action. You know, as I just mentioned to Roger, I was in Asia for a few years, and I learned a lot of the language. In fact, I was a translator. I translated from English to Korean, from Korean to English. And the way I learned was by listening to other conversations. And every day I would listen to conversations, and things wouldn't make sense, and I would say, really? And so they would keep talking, hopefully I could put it into context. And I would write down the words that I didn't understand. And I would go home at night, I would look them up in a dictionary, I would put them on a card, and every day I would memorize 10 words. 10 words I put on an index card, and while I was riding the bus or the subway or walking somewhere, I looked at my index card and I would memorize my words. The problem is I couldn't recall them. The problem is they never came up in a conversation. So what I learned is I had to use those words. And so when I had my 10 words each day, as I got a little smarter, I put everyone into a sentence. And I would start using them in a sentence when I spoke with someone. Sometimes my sentences didn't make sense. And sometimes people looked at me funny, but I didn't care because I just wanted to say my sentence. And I wanted to use my word. But it was my trick of internalizing. My point being, you've got to put this into action. Taking notes today and hearing something and being impressed by some of their age of success with a certain process or a certain procedure will do nothing for you other than give you some ideas before, or ideas today, and some nice notes that you may dust off next time you move. What is really going to make a difference is if you make a point to put these things into action. By putting things into action, you will internalize them. You will make it a part of you. And you can make changes. And we're pretty excited about change. And that brings me to my last animal slide, my last animal picture. Patrick bought a book for me a couple of years ago called Who Moved My Cheese? Has anyone read that book? What a ripoff. Can you believe that? It was, what, $20 for that thing?
Yeah.
The font was, what, 40-point font? You know, and this guy was trying to squeeze out 50 pages from this little story. And everyone knows the story. It's about change. Something got changed, and you have two choices to make. When something gets changed, or of course the mouse's cheese got moved somewhere, you have two choices to make. You can either fret about it and be upset about it, or you can move in another direction. You can be excited about something new. And I hope you'll choose the latter, because things are changing. You're going to hear a lot about that. You're going to hear that from XO in just a minute as we bring up XO to talk to you about new products, about managed services, about the way things are changing. Like I said before, try it on like a new coat. See if it works. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't, but try it out. Things are changing. We've seen things change in the last couple of years. Many of you have grasped onto that. Many of you have changed yourselves, whether it's changing your business structure or whether it's changing the types of products you sell or the approach you have with your customers. You've adapted to change, and that's why you succeeded. I encourage you to continue doing that. Continue to change as things change around you, to adapt to it, continue to be successful. We're doing it. We're doing it internally. We continue to change, and hopefully those are all positive. We think they're positive. But I encourage you to do the same. So, with that, I leave you to try on your new jacket. The first one we'll be trying on is XO. And we're going to review a little bit. We'll have Rich Gannon up here and Charlie Carey up for a few minutes. In fact, Pat, if you would, pull up the introduction for XO really quickly, and we'll jump right into this. XO has been a great partner of ours. In fact, they're winning an award from us later today, an award from you. You voted on these carrier awards, and XO is winning one of the awards. They're doing a great job. I won't spoil it now, but they're doing a fantastic job. It says you, and also says the numbers. If we take a look at the numbers that we produced with XO, here they are. We went over this last week. This is funny. You know, we started taking off here. And oh, by the way, horrible year. Horrible year. They're very difficult to work with and have made improvements ever since. Made great improvements with their program, with their support, with their operations. We're going to talk about some of those. And the numbers show it. It's not just you. It's not just the award you voted on to give them later today. It's the numbers that we put in as a result. And there you can see in 2008, 35% increase in sales. And I'm confident this year will be another increase. But the reason is they've made it easier to do business with. They've come out with some great products, and you like it, and you're selling more of it. And I think we'll see a lot more good things coming out of XO. You know, one other interesting thing, and I hope I'm not stealing anyone's thunder. XO is in a very good position right now financially. That's something you want to keep in your minds. Is the financial strength of the carrier. XO is in a very good position. They have no debt. Rich, is that correct? No debt. Not many companies can say that. Not many carriers can say that. XO has no debt. They wiped it out last year. And they're in a very good financial position with a strong balance sheet in terms of no debt. So we're excited to have them as a partner, excited to grow with them. And I'd like to first bring up Rich Gannon, who is our National Channel Manager for XO, who will have just a few minutes and has a few things to share with us. Rich, come on up.
Hold the microphone.
That's true. Everybody hear me? Yep. Okay, this is very often, so try to make it work. Thank you. Thank you for a great year. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Richard Gannon, National Channel Manager, and my responsibility is to make sure that Patrick and Adam and the whole team is happy. And things seem to be going well, and there's great success here. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, and then I'm going to turn it over to Charlie Carey, who's going to bring in some new and exciting things on our managed services. Not MPLS, but something very different. But stories. That was a great story. You know, I read books. I read spy novels and military novels. I don't know why. It's because my oldest son was an airborne ranger for a lot of years before he got out of the military, and it got me interested in it. But I was reading on a plane, and there was an interesting story. And to make it short, special operations guys on military training out in the field, you know, with his team. He's one of the most highly trained special ops guy. And in this exercise, he goes out and he's trying to, you know, flank the supposed enemy. And what happens is the whole team gets killed in this exercise. And he's, what went wrong? What went wrong? The sergeant that was running this exercise said, very simple, sir. He said, you didn't use your team. You tried to do it yourself. And the message in that was teamwork works. Teamwork equals success. And that's what I think happened last year. We had a lot of teamwork in the field. I worked with a lot of you. Participation was at an all-time high. 58 closers worked at XO. I think it was like double the number from the year before. We got a lot more participation in all of you, giving us a try, giving us a taste test. Some of you taking it to the next level. But you know, 137K in new business and very strong Ethernet sales. The bottom line is that Telarus now ranks number 5 in XO's partner stack rankings. That's up from number 7 in 2007. That's an amazing accomplishment. And you know, got them back to club MVP. And I can't think of two guys I'd rather see Carlos and Lucas than actually get Adam. So I hope you have a great track. This is what it looks like. You can see the 3-year trend here. You know, it's trending up. You know, numbers at the bottom you just on the slide, but it's been continual growth, and we expect to see the same thing this year. That's in our business plan. The channel is growing. The channel is stronger than ever, and we expect great things from all of you. This is really probably the key slide. TBR, total billed revenue. That's what pays the bills. That's what puts money in your pocket. You know, like I said last year, nothing happens till something is sold, but nothing pays till something is installed and billing, right? And the numbers are compelling. We increased our TBR with you quite a bit. It was 53% over last year. That's a big number in the world of channel sales. Churn. This is something you're going to hear a lot more about. And those of you that worked with me, worked with Dale Gatlin and Laurie O'Rourke, we reduced churn. You can see some you know, tall pillars on the left there and rapidly dropping in behind in the back. And if you look at the numbers from July to August, you can see that it's really dropping. In the second half of the year, we really got it down to that less than 1%. 1% is a target that we're looking for. 1% churn is a healthy business model. It's very acceptable, and it's what keeps customers billing, and keeps customers paying, and keeps money in our pocket. So where do we go from here? Those of you who haven't sold XO, give us a try. Take a taste test. It's not hard. You know, reach out to your local channel manager. One of the things that XO did do in terms of our overall transformation in making the channel work is we have local channel managers in every market that we do business. And their responsibility is to work with you locally and to provide you the resources on the transactional side, all right, to help you grow your business with XO. The key is, know your resources. All right, we have resources there. Team, all right, use your team. Don't try to do it all by yourself. You got people there to help. I'm one of them, and she'll do whatever it takes to make sure that your orders are installed. Key is your local team. One of the things that's going to change this year is we're going away from a hub. You're used to submitting your orders into a central hub in Dallas, and we're removing the hub. Everything is going to be done in your local branch. What that means is they're going to be a stakeholder in your implementation, just like they do with the direct sales right now. Part of XO is here in terms of growth strategy. We got a big plan for the channel. 2008 was the best year ever in the history of XO, and we expect 2009 to be even better. And then the other thing is learn simple management things, simple maths that can be done through the business center. It's one of the most underutilized resources that we have out there, and what it requires is on the sales side that you understand that, make that part of the sales process. The customer understands that resource is there for them to use. XO Anywhere, that's an adjunct to our Flex product. It's that virtual office. Again, very powerful. It's a tool that actually makes that Flex product look even more attractive, part of the value proposition.